morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call to order the Redevelopment Agency meeting of July 1st, 2009. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. The mayor makes this announcement. This building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system, and if alarm should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits. Once outside, assemble on the Las Vegas Boulevard side of the property. Employees wearing safety vests or our city marshals will inform you when it is safe to re-enter the building. The first item on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding a First Amendment to a lease agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Clear Channel Outdoor, Inc. to modify the term in the monthly lease payment for the billboard located at 500 South Las Vegas Boulevard. This is in Ward 3. Mr. Arndt.
Good morning, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. Bill Arndt, Acting Director, Office of Business Development. This item is an amendment to an existing agreement for a billboard on property that the agency owns. When we acquired this property at Las Vegas Boulevard and Clark Avenue, there was an existing billboard already on the property. As a result of that purchase, we benefit from this revenue stream for the billboard. The Clear Channel Outdoor and the agency signed a lease on October 1st of 2004. This First Amendment has a 90-day termination clause, so either party can terminate giving notice with 90-day notice. Also, the City Council reviewed on April 15th of this year a required review for this billboard. So from a regulatory perspective, the billboard is in order. This First Amendment modifies the term and reduces the payments. The current payment has been $6,000 in annual rent or $500 monthly. This amendment would reduce the payment to $5,000 or $417 monthly. Clear Channel has cited slower advertising sales as the reason for requesting this rent reduction. I would note that because of the termination clause of the lease, that this is not guaranteed revenue. So this was negotiated by our staff. We do have Rod Carter here representing Clear Channel. If you have any questions of the other party, staff does recommend approval.
I don't see Mr. Carter out there. Oh.
Good morning, Councilman, members. Rod Carter, 2880 Meade Avenue on behalf of Clear Channel Outdoor. We concur with everything. We're excited to move forward with this, and we ask for your approval moving forward.
What if the economy goes up?
Well, we can go back and reevaluate it, but based on doing the conversion from the 30 sheets to that bulletin face per your direction, we're in that about $15,000. With slow sales, we're struggling a little bit, so we need some help.
What's the life of the contract?
The contract runs through September 17th, 2012. I would note that the 90-day termination right, not only does Clear Channel have that, but we have it as well. So that gives us some leverage. If the economy does turn around, we can sit back down with Clear Channel, figure out what revenue and lease payments make sense to continue the billboard. It also gives us the flexibility to develop the property for the reason we bought it, which is for redevelopment.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Arndt or Mr. Carter? Hearing none, I make a motion to follow staff's recommendation for approval of this item with all conditions. Cast your vote. Please post. Motion passes. And for the record, could we please excuse Mayor Goodman? He's in a meeting. He'll be downstairs as soon as possible. Item 4 is discussion of possible action regarding the Fourth Amendment and related disposition and development agreement by and among the City of Las Vegas, a municipal corporation of the State of Nevada, the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, a public body, the City and RDA collectively herein the sellers, and Alpha Omega Strategies LLC for the development of 13.34 acres of real property located at 1501 North Decatur Boulevard. This is in Ward 5. This is also going to be heard this morning with Council Item 13. Mr. Arndt?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to give a brief presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, just outlining what we're doing with this amendment. It's doing two things. It's fairly short, and I'll be brief. With me today from Alpha Omega Strategies is Michael McDonald, as well as Bruce Bing, two principals with the company. As you know, this project has been under contract with the RDA since 2007. This amendment, we believe, allows the project to move forward in phases, and I'll outline it as follows. I'd like to remind Mayor Pro Tem, you and the council, the project scope, as well as the listening audience, talk about some performance to date from the developer, the nature of this request, what risk we would have for the life of the project, and then the next steps for the project. This shows the site. It is at the corner, near the corner of Vegas and Decatur. It's a commercial center proposed with a grocery store as well as 2 retail pads, 460 senior housing units, and then also a city fire substation. As part of our development agreement with Alpha Omega, we've agreed to release back some of our RDA sale proceeds from the sale of the commercial portion of the site back into the project to support the construction of the fire station, which would be a 13,000-foot station, 4-bay. And I'd like to note for the listening audience, this is not going to be funded by the general fund. It's going to be funded by the RDA. This is a site map depicting the site. I know this map doesn't show up terribly well on the monitors, but I would like to point out toward the center of the site, near the dotted line, you can see a large box. That is the 40,000 square foot store for Mariana's, and that's part of the performance to date. In addition to achieving approval of a site plan, Alpha Omega has achieved sale of the grocery pad to Mariana's, which closed escrow in March. They're looking to build the 40,000 square foot store, and they're under contract to do that. Alpha Omega has also completed civil improvement plans for the project and construction drawings for the housing development. Developers really asking for two things. First, they're asking for an extension of time. As I noted, they did perform on the commercial for the Marianas. They are asking for some additional time. They were required per our last amendment to close on the additional commercial lots by July of this year, and the residential lot, which is on the western side of the 10-acre site, by January 2010. They're looking to complete the residential construction, including the fire station shell, by January of 2012. For all of those deadlines, they're looking for a year extension, and we believe that's warranted given the progress they made and the fact that they still have the sources lined up for the housing portion of the project. Would note today also that Lon DeWeese from the State Housing Division is in the audience and can verify that the state's portion of the funds for the project, private activity bonds, are still lined up in order for the project. The other aspect of the request is they're asking for an early release of our funds. We're not proposing any net additional money into the project, so our commitment is still remaining the same. The distinction I would make is that we're releasing some of our revenue and our proceeds to go into the fire station early to help with the cash flow for the project. We believe this is warranted. It helps the commercial. And so if you see on the right-hand side of the slide, what we're doing now is we're releasing a portion of the sale proceeds, the revenue that the agency earns from the sale of the Marianas pad, approximately $1.33 million. And because they're construction ready with the site improvements as well as wanting to move forward with supporting the grocery store infrastructure, we recommend releasing that now. And then we'll release the balance of the funds when the city accepts a certificate of occupancy for the fire station. So that does change our risk profile somewhat. We are releasing funds in a little bit earlier in the project. We're not carrying lending risk. We're not making a loan. We're not putting any additional money into the project. We do carry some development risk. If for whatever reason the developer is unable to perform after all their good faith efforts, we will get an improved site with this specific site plan. We are keeping ownership of the site, so our money really is not at risk. It's just releasing our money earlier into the project than we originally contemplated. The agency, at that time, if the residential and the commercial does not move forward, we would need to figure out how to build out the remainder of the site. We would have 2 commercial pads in a pad-ready condition to sell to retail developers. But again, I'd like to emphasize we're committed to working in good faith with the developer to make sure this project happens. We believe some of the steps that we're taking really position this project to move forward and proceed. This is really a worst-case scenario if, for whatever reason, the residential and the remainder of the commercial is unable to move forward. We'd be in a good position and our risk is covered. Next steps, Alpha Omega has fenced the site and they're proceeding with site work. Mariana's, that the build-out could be completed in as little as 9 months, but they're under contract to finish in 24 months or less. There is a bit of a housing gap due to some of the sources for the housing. They do have all of the sources still lined up, the private activity bonds, as well as the low-income housing tax credits. The level of those funds, as far as how much those funds would yield when the tax credits are sold, that's been a little bit up in the air. Tax credits are usually priced for less than $1. You don't get the full value of the credits. They're sold in a market through a syndication process, and the value of those credits, unfortunately, due to the market, has come down. The developer, we believe, has taken the adequate steps to move forward with filling that gap, and they're here today to answer any questions about that in order to move forward with the housing. The commercial pads, we're giving them, again, an additional year. They are currently negotiating with multiple national chains. We feel that in this economy, it's quite remarkable an accomplishment to have closed on the Marianas when retail is really our most struggling sector in the economy right now. So we have faith that they'll be able to succeed in doing that. And then the fire station will be built if and when the housing's built. Again, we believe that we're positioning the project to succeed, but they still have some work to do to put all the pieces together for both the housing project as well as the fire station. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions. I'll turn it over to Michael McDonald of Alpha Omega.
Any questions, Mr. Arndt?
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, please.
The early release of funds, have we ever done that before, Mr. Arndt?
I believe we have. I think it's a little bit unusual, this relationship, in that you really have 3 projects in one. We have the commercial, we have the housing, as well as the fire station. Our money all along we're looking to release for investment in the fire station. I think the closest deal we have to this structure, believe it or not, would be our partnership with Forest City. They are proposing to build a fire substation as part of the hotel casino in Symphony Park. We're looking to release funds when they're ready to start construction on that one. So it's a similar relationship. I think we're covered from a risk perspective. We have done also improvements for private development when we've still owned the property. We did that for the Louisville Brain Institute. We wanted them to proceed and get going and wanted to give them the green light. So we actually let them start construction prior to their close of escrow, and they did it under a lease agreement and a license agreement similar to what we're doing with Alpha Omega. So we do have precedent, and I believe our risk is covered.
And then secondly, and I think most importantly, is the funds that we're proposing to release, they don't go into the developer's pocket. They go back into the project. Isn't that right?
That's correct. The money is going into the physical infrastructure of the site, the surface parking, bringing in utilities. As is common with a lot of our redevelopment projects, it's not like a suburban project where all the utilities are ready to go and stub to the site. There's a lot of utility work. They're bringing in utilities not just from Decatur, but from the western side of the site as well. So that's a pretty significant cost. And we're really trying to help mitigate the risk of the housing. We want the housing project to move forward. So this is really a cash flow benefit for the developer. It's not a net benefit as far as an increase in funds. It's just a cash flow benefit to help the developer keep moving forward with the housing and honor their commitment to the housing.
Any other questions? Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilman Wilson, one thing, and many of the board members already know this, but this is also for the audience at home. This is the most stringent DDA written to date by the Redevelopment Agency on the guidelines of Mr. Adams, Mr. Arndt, and Mr. Sumner, they wanted to make sure that this was the hardest DDA, but the most successful DDA. That anybody could take a look upon this and know there was no favors done, that there was nothing that was overlooked. And to this date, I want to say I'm very proud. I'll speak to the political side of it and what we've accomplished so far, and then turn it over to Mr. Bain and William Bain for the numbers part, if you have any questions about that. The city of Las Vegas has gone above and beyond, and under the guidelines of Councilman Ricky Barlow, I'm proud to say that numerous hours of neighborhood meetings, small coffee clutches to keep this project alive. No one saw the downturn of what was going to take when our economy hit the skids. And it's right to say, anybody sitting up there, you're our community leaders. I don't think any of you saw this coming either. We are ready to go. We have the white paper done. Mr. Bain has put millions of dollars in this project before we were ever approved. That's the commitment from the Bain family and where his leadership has taken us. To date, we were at the state legislature. Many of you were fighting down here. I was lobbying up there on behalf of the project and also overlapped for our senior citizens. We had bills up there that fought for our senior citizens. We have guidelines that we fought for our senior citizens. Many of your constituents sitting at home that can't afford to come down or can't even afford to probably watch it on TV. These are the people we're talking about. So the housing portion is definitely the most important in my mind. It has been the cornerstone of my life. I have living examples through my parents. And I know each one of you, every time I go to one of your meetings, you're always looking out for the less fortunate, the people who don't have the voice. These senior citizens have become that minority. And the economy, when it took a turn, as we started to work with our federal delegation, we've learned they're doing the best they can. When we talk about projects that are ready to go, what President Obama and Senator Reid have spoken about, this is it. This is it for the people who were born and raised here. Councilmen who had their business here for a long time. We worked at that store. Councilman, under your leadership. Councilman Charkanian, you've seen it. Councilman Wilson, you've seen it take place. Councilman Anthony, welcome aboard, sir, and we're proud to have you here. But he's seen it, patrolled it, and lived it. This area is in dire need of redevelopment, and it's under the guidelines that this has taken place under your leadership. It was so important at the state that I'm proud to say Lon DeWeese came down. Lon DeWeese is probably the leading guru, if you will, Mr. DeWeese, for lack of a better term, when it comes to state funding of projects. And I'm proud to say I got to know him a lot better during the legislative session. He's a champion of the people we're talking about, the less fortunate, the housing people, our senior citizens. We had a bill up there that would try to help with development, our developments in the city of Las Vegas, not just ours. And he was able to put it together, working with Assemblywoman Marilyn Kirkpatrick, Senator Lee, and their respective boards. And I'm proud to say those leaders fought for that. Senator Steve Horsford, this is in his district. I know he's had countless phone calls with Councilman Barlow, Commissioner Lawrence Weekly, to get this project moving. So to say we don't have support under your leadership for the public at home, we do. And Councilman Wilson, I'm glad you pointed out, this money does not go in our pocket. This is the worst economic times we've ever seen in the history. And my father, God bless you, Dad, 84 years old, just turned, he's never seen. Our senior citizens, our true leaders that come to your barbershop when we sit there and talk, they've never seen times like this, so no one really has the true answers. But we're able to keep moving forward day to day with the help of the people from like Lon DeWeese from the state, Senator Reid's office, Congresswoman Berkeley's office, Congresswoman Dina Titus. We've contacted everybody we can in the federal chain. Under Councilman Barlow, he was back in Washington, D.C. fighting for us. We've written letters to the senator. This speaks to everything the president, everything that Congress talks about. You want jobs? There's 1,000 jobs that'll happen right now. You want employment? There it is. And they're union jobs. They're pay scales. The people that are fighting. The people that backed our new stimulus packages. You want to talk about revitalizing a neighborhood? This does it. This has been the cancer in my neighborhood since 1993. It is my neighborhood. 1993. We saw a staple that kept the cornerstone of our neighborhoods go down. To shop now, Councilwoman Tarkanian, you've seen numerous stores in your area close, and you're fighting to get them back. We can't get them back. Councilman Barlow has been able to fight and fight and fight. We now have a supermarket in the worst economic times when everybody said it wouldn't happen. Councilman, it has been a pleasure to fight with you. But it's under your leadership and your vote here today that revitalized this area. It's not money in our pocket. Councilman Wilson pointed out, and it's important to say it over and over and over again. This will start the improvement. This is the domino to get things rolling again. We finally have developments that are going forward. When the fence went up and the construction's going on, has it hurt some of our close friends, Sunshine Cafe? Absolutely. And I know, Councilman, you've received phone calls. Councilman Ross, I know you've received countless phone calls because we were born and raised there. I have people stop by my house. I'm good friends with the owners. We're doing everything we can. Mr. Bain family has gone out. They've purchased signs to show that it's open, it's thriving, it's still moving forward. Our neighbors to the south, we've made sure they had access in and out so that it's not cutting them off. We want everybody to thrive. Because when this project goes through, and it will go through, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. To steal the words from Lon DeWeese, our leader, our friend. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this project will be done. And he's talking about the housing component, because that's really what we're talking about. That's the most important thing. 461 units for senior citizens who have no place to go in this economic times. They are your constituents. They are your family members. They're also the homeless people that are on Main Street right now that have no place to go. Councilman Anthony, you've seen it time and time again. These are not people that have overspent. These are our senior citizens. These are our leaders that have been pushed aside. They're getting older. Don't get them away. Councilman, I'm sorry once again, Mayor Pro Tem, to get on the soapbox, but this is near and dear to my heart, as you can tell. I'll turn it over to Mr. Bain for any questions, if you have any questions of me. And once again, there was a rumor that we lost our funding from the state. I was in Councilman Barlow's office, and I was in Councilman Ross's office. And this is the kind of leader we have at our state, that I'm proud to say is our friend and also one of our leaders. Mr. DeWeese felt it was important to come down and share the record, not only for ladies and gentlemen here, our leaders, but also for the audience at home, to set the record straight that we are fighting for our senior citizens. Can I ask? Sorry, Coach. If I could I have Mr. DeWeese come up and share a few words? Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. DeWeese, from the mayor and myself, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. For your record, I am Lon DeWeese, Chief Financial Officer for the Department of Business and Industry for the state. The Alpha Omega project on the housing component that we're involved with is very vitally important to the state. We think that the tidal wave of senior citizens that are coming to this county in the next 10 years is something that cannot be ignored, and we can't do enough to prepare for it. This project is a key anchor and an example for all of the development community to see. This is a high-rise, affordable housing project, and we think it's vital to be able to demonstrate to your community that these kinds of projects work. That being said, the reality of the tax credit market, which represents anywhere from 20 to 30% of the funding for the housing component, frankly, is down in the sewer at this time. But it's not unique to this project. It's not unique to Nevada. It is throughout the country. Typically, as indicated by Mr. Arndt, these types of funding sources represent between 85 and 80 cents on the dollar for each tax credit that is sold. Right now, in the marketplace, if you can get a bid for 60 cents, thank your lucky stars. The difference between 60 cents and 85 cents is huge. It's millions and millions of dollars. What's the solution? Time. Time is the solution, because without a recovering economy, people don't need tax credits to shelter their net income, because there is no net income. And if we don't let the economy recover, we're not going to be able to get the pricing for the tax credits to complete the funding of this project. Therefore, we would encourage you, as I did in a letter to the mayor, to please grant this project time and give it a chance to fulfill your wishes and desires as expressed in the development agreement. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Mr. DeWeese? Thank you very much for coming down, sir.
I just have
My
a question
pleasure.
to Mr.
Good luck.
DeWeese.
Mr. DeWeese?
Mr. DeWeese, thank you for taking my call a couple of weeks ago to confirm what I'd been told. It's good to see you here. It's good that the state recognizes how important this is. We recognize, certainly, the growing population of active adults and senior citizens. And that young man standing behind you is a product of that neighborhood, as I am. That was the edge of town at one time when we were kids, and it's not anymore. So I'm aging ourselves, Mr. McDonald. You know that, but it means a great deal to us. And I want you to know, as the state, that this kid from the neighborhood is doing good things, and I'm excited about seeing that corner change, because it's going to change the whole makeup of that neighborhood entirely. People are going to be proud to live there. People are going to use the services that are going to be there. This is an important part of not only our redevelopment, but I think the vision of this entire council for the city of Las Vegas. I appreciate you, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Bain. You as well know this neighborhood. We're all products of this city, and this is going to make a significant difference, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're looking forward to working with the city leading this project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Bain?
I'm happy, Bruce Bain, 851 South Rampart, Las Vegas, Nevada, and happy to answer any questions you may have. Mike stole all my thunder.
Any questions, Mr. Bain? Hearing none. Mr. Barlow, please.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Mr. Bain, Mike is known for stealing a lot of thunder. That's nothing new to me. But I am really proud to work with Michael and his entire team for a job well done. Not often individuals that grow up in communities have an opportunity to go back and give back to the community from which they came. Myself, sitting on this council, is a native of this community, and to sit here and be one of the executors of a city to help improve and develop is a great honor for myself, and I know for Michael and yourself and others that have come out of this neighborhood near 1501. It's an exciting time, but it's a tough time at the same time. And having the ability to team up and redevelop a blighted area that once was a thriving area has to be gratifying. There's a lot of detail that has gone into this development, and a lot of countless hours in neighborhood meetings. The residents in this community have contacted me over the years and asked, Councilman, what's going on with the development? Are we still moving forward with it? And I tell them, I say, yes, we are still moving forward with it. This council believes in making sure that all areas of the community have the appropriate amenities needed in order for our residents to thrive and live. And so for that, I still stand 100% behind this development because it's going to do something in this community that hasn't been done before, and that is a mixed use of senior development, the firehouse, as well as the Mariana's grocery store, which has that's a good question in regards to Mariana's. Have we closed on Mariana's as of yet?
Yes, sir. Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem. Yes, we have. They've closed. They are set to go diligently. Mr. Bain and William Bain are working with them because his hours of experience in this area to try and get this expedited. And then I will bringing along with whoever their lobbyists are before the board. So we're trying to expedite that as soon as possible.
And thank you for that. Mr. Bain, you have something to say?
One other thing. We will start, after the vote here today, our intention is to start grading the site immediately following the 4th of July.
And that's beautiful. And the reason why I bring up Mariana's is the fact that in West Las Vegas, for approximately 4.5 years, West Las Vegas went without a grocery store, and the community was in dire need of a grocery store. And the same element here at 1501 had taken place, where the residents had to travel a little ways down the street, specifically our senior community had to travel a little ways to go to a grocery store. Now having the opportunity of bringing another grocery store back into this immediate adjacent area is very key. And with the senior development, 461 approximate units coming on this site will be huge to our senior population, as Mr. Deweese so eloquently stated. And thank you, Mr. Deweese, for being here and also taking my call and filtering the questions that I had in regards to the housing tax credits. And so having the seniors with a grocery store right in the midst of their front door, I mean, this is a win-win. I understand that it's not the structure of the deal is not cookie cutter, but at the same time, as my parents have always stated, anything worth having is worth fighting for. And when it comes to the residents of Ward 5, I'm here to fight on their behalf to make sure that they have the appropriate amenities in order to develop the community the way that it should be developed. And so with that, I am in support of moving
Councilman?
forward.
Councilman, if I could interrupt.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Anthony had a couple questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, you're right, Mr. McDonald. I know that area has been blighted for quite some time, and I think this is going to do a great job of reducing crime in that area. I think it's really going to have a big impact. I do have a question, though. Do you have other commitments for commercial enterprises going into that area yet, or are you discussing it with anyone?
Yes, we are. I'll turn it over to Mr. Bain.
We've engaged the services of a broker by the name of Ted Baker, who actually helped us bring Mariana's to fruition. We are actually negotiating one of the pads right now. We've had an offer. We've made a counter offer, and we feel that once grading starts, my son has received almost daily phone calls of interest in the commercial on top of the 12-story building, as well as the pads, since we put up the fence. And we feel that once the grading starts and even we start going vertical on Mariana's, that we're going to even gain more and more interest. So we're confident that we'll be able to sell those pads and be able, or lease them, build a suit, whatever the case may be, in the next few months or so. So.
Another comment, Councilman. Not to crack some more thunder, but we had a national chain, and thanks to Adam Sumner and the group down at OBD, we had a national chain that was ready to go in there, and we were excited to have it. It was Dunkin' Donuts. Morning, Your Honor. It was Dunkin' Donuts, and due to the economy, obviously the slowing of the economy held them up. They were gracious enough to step out and let us try and get something else. But that's the kind of impact it has had economically when you have national chains that are well recognized that don't have the wherewithal to get this. And Councilman, your comment about fighting for the community, I think you could lay your hat on the doorstep on this one. You've definitely been fighting for our neighborhood, not just our neighborhood, but for Ward 5 on this project, because this has been something that's been really tough to go through. Also, we'll be calling on you. We're laying this at President Obama's doorstep and Senator Reed's. You've written comments. Mayor, you've given numerous letters. So notice you all probably will be getting phone calls from our federal delegation.
Thank you.
Let me say, too, to Councilman Anthony, is that we have been working with the housing authorities, both the county and the city, and just this past week, the City Housing Authority has passed the potential for an RFP for actual project-based vouchers, which we intend to acquire about and hopefully acquire them for this project. If we do that, Lon might be able to address the issue better than I. We're told that the tax credit syndicators will be even more interested in this project. The county, county housing authority will hopefully follow suit and provide the same number of vouchers. The city at this time has earmarked 200 vouchers, and we've asked the county to do the same. So we're trying to be proactive, and when Mike speaks to the federal delegation, we've asked them to take 400 vouchers from national base and transfer them to the local base to supplement and replace what very well might end up on our project. There's no guarantees that we will, but if they do, it will enhance our tax credit opportunities immensely.
But just for everyone's information, eventually, I think in the next couple of months, we're going to have just one housing authority in the county.
Started this morning, sir.
Yes. Councilman Barlow?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, and thank the council so much for your comments and your due diligence with this item. As I stated, I am in support of this development moving forward, and look forward to continue to work to make sure that the development at 1501 is completely built out for the sake of the residents and also for the sake of the seniors that are continuing to come into our city and looking to call our city home. And what better place than to have a new development with such great amenities at their front doorstep than at the location before us today. So with that, I would like to move to recommend approval of this item subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item number 5 is RA 13-2009. Discussion and possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the commercial Visual Improvement Program agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Casa Suites LLC located at 700 North Las Vegas Boulevard to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. This is in Ward 5, and this item is related to Council Item 54. Mr. Ard?
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. This is a visual improvement program grant, or a VIP, as we call it. This is for a property owned by the Siegel Group, and is one of 3 items before you today requesting assistance from the agency for a dollar-to-dollar match for monies that the private owner is putting into his commercial properties. The first item before you today is Casa Suites, which is at 700 North Las Vegas Boulevard on the corner of the Boulevard and Wilson. You see on the overhead a picture of the before render photo as well as the after rendering. The owner is putting a tremendous amount of private capital into the property. They're planning to invest approximately $1 million into the property at this location. Improvements to the property include new signage, landscaping, parking lot upgrades, building paint, and facade. The applicant is eligible for the full grant of $50,000. That's part of the program to offer a grant up to $50,000. We will be recording a 5-year facade and building maintenance agreement against the property, which is also a standard part of the program to make sure that the private owner keeps the property up. Before I turn it over to Michael Crandall and Judy Perez of the Siegel Group, just like to thank the Siegel Group, who has been a wonderful partner for downtown. They've been incredibly hands-on with their properties, and it's wonderful to have a partner that is so not only committed to downtown from their private investment and their capital, but the hands-on approach that they take with their properties and managing their properties. They've been a tremendous asset to downtown. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the Siegel Group.
Thank you. Michael Crandall, Director of Business Affairs for the Siegel Group. Good morning, Mayor and members of council. This is Judy Perez.
Good morning.
Chris Kemper, our counsel, for some reason is not here, so we're happy to answer any questions.
Okay, make sure you don't pay him then.
Absolutely not.
All right.
And I'm giving him a mouthful after this, but
As well you should. I don't think you need his representation.
okay, great. So we're happy to answer any questions, and we just want to say, as you can see from the pictures, the before and after, we've already put a lot of work into this project and our other projects downtown, and we're excited to continue rehabbing downtown and cleaning it up in the neighborhood. So.
And working close together, hand in hand with you guys.
Well, I'll say this, as a general proposition, it's been such a pleasure working with you. You know, we have a lot of big shots who hold themselves out as first-class developers and want to do business with the city, and there's a lot of talk. You put your money where your mouth is. You really made a difference. I know in Mayor Pro Tem's ward with the beautiful properties.
I wish you hadn't said that, because I got to make some comments now.
Okay, and certainly in the downtown with Councilman Barlow and throughout the city, you're real smart young people, and what you've done with the hotel, which is the next item there, is very special. I've been in there, and to me it's a miracle, because I always kidded about the El Cortez and walking in there and getting a secondary lung disease when I thought about going into the Gold Spike. I thought that it would probably be a death on the spot. But you walk in there now, it smells great, it's bright, cheerful. I mean, it's just terrific. You're doing a great job, and we value you.
Thank you very much.
Councilman
Mayor,
Barlow.
if I could?
Yes.
You opened this up for me.
Sorry.
I do have problems over on St. Louis and Paradise, though.
Okay, call me.
And when there is a problem, we'll work it out for you. Councilman Barlow.
Thank you, Mayor. It most definitely has been a delight working with the Siegel Group on many fronts. A lot of the developments that they have taken under their wing since coming into the city have been in my district, and all of those properties once upon a time were blighted, and today they are really trophies throughout the communities in which you've come, and the tender love and care that you all have giving to these developments has been great for the entire community as a whole. And so thank you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do to really bring about a change in the inner city communities. And so with that, I am in full support of the item before us here today. And if there's anything that I can do to assist you all, please just continue to remain in contact with me. I look forward to working with you. And also, in defense, I contacted your office in regards to graffiti that was on one of the buildings, and by the following day it was gone. So thank you for the speedy response in that respect, specifically as I continue to move about my Clean Ward 5 campaign throughout the district to remove all of the trash, glass, and debris from the community in which we all live in. So thank you so very much, and with that, my recommendation will be for approval, subject to all conditions of this item.
Let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is item number 7, RA 15-2009, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program Agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Plug It In, Roman numeral 2, LLC, the owner, located at 217 North Las Vegas Boulevard, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. And Mr. Aaron?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, did I skipped. We'll do 7, and then we'll go back to 6. 7 is fine.
So this item is 7, you just read?
Yes. I skipped 6. We'll go to...
Luckily, both properties are on the same campus, the Gold Spike at the Travel Inn, so I think it's appropriate to take them really as a group.
Okay, then let me read 6 as well. 6 is RA 14-2009, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program Agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Gold Spike Holdings, LLC, the owner, located at 400 Ogden Avenue, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. And this item is related to Council Item 55, and Item 7 is related to Council Item number 56. Thank you, Mr. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 7 I'll speak to first. Plug It In is the single asset company that owns the Travel Inn. Travel Inn is located adjacent to this campus, 217 North Las Vegas Boulevard. The property is closed. The owner purchased it about 24 months ago. They're putting in a tremendous amount of capital into both the Travel Inn as well as the Gold Spike. $5 million already in property improvements, which include for the Travel Inn new signage, a new pool, landscaping, parking lot upgrades, and building paint facade. They are a little further along with this property than some of the other VIP grants, so rather than the $50,000 grant, to make sure we get the dollar-for-dollar match, we're recommending $38,193. We will be recording a facade easement against the property. Also show you a second rendering. This is kind of a rendering of the sign in the campus. And this shows the after renderings for the landscape and the total project in the bottom photo. So it's quite a remarkable project. We do recommend approval. I'll also go over the Gold Spike. The Gold Spike is located at 400 Ogden. It's just south of the City Hall campus. They purchased this property approximately 18 months ago, and renovations are underway to really create a resort atmosphere with the pool and the penthouse suites. As I stated earlier, they're investing $5 million into these properties, including signage, landscaping, parking lot upgrades, building paint, facade. We're recommending a full $50,000 grant. I'm going to put some renderings up of now of the Gold Spike, which is, the mayor noted, is probably the most dramatic transformation of the 3 projects before you today. And with that, I'll invite Mr. Crandall or Ms. Perez to make some comments about this project.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mayor and City and members of this council. The one thing I'd like to say about this project is we named the Travel Inn Plug It In LLC because that's exactly what we needed to do, is basically plug it back in and light it up and clean it up, and that's what we've been doing. And same thing with the Gold Spike. And I think some of you guys have walked in there and just seen the changes we've already made on the inside with the brand new casino floor, sports book, Rosati's Pizza, Golden Grill restaurant. And we're really excited to continue to clean it up and finish the project, the exterior, and connect it to the Travel Inn. And it's going to be a beautiful project. And we've been trying to support our neighbors to encourage them to help clean up the area around us, and we think that that's going to happen hopefully soon. So we're excited about this project.
Thank you very much. Ms. Perez?
Oh, no comment.
All right, thank you. All right, are there any comments or questions by the council?
Just one, Your Honor. Thank you. At our briefing yesterday, I asked Mr. Arndt how long the Siegel Group has been in Las Vegas. When did you come to Las Vegas? I think, Bill, your answer was about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I think
Actually,
we've
August
been,
04.
right. We've been just seeing
Okay.
the recent investments in downtown. I think they've been in the broader market for a longer period of time.
Okay, well, 4 or 5 years, but we're really seeing the realities come to fruition the last couple of years, and it's just fantastic. Just fantastic. Councilman Barlow, Mayor Goodman, you've said it all, but we're just really happy to see in this market you being so active and doing such great things to our downtown and surrounding areas.
Thank you so much, and we appreciate your guys' support.
Thank you. Councilman Barlow?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Woodson, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, there's been developers here and businessmen and women here for many, many years that actually need to do some things with their properties around the valley. And for you all to have been here for such a small amount of time and have put such an injection of cash into the redevelopment of the community has been outstanding. And you are to be commended for sure for the great job that you've done. And with the Gold Spike, I mean, it's an amazing place. My staff and I had an opportunity last month to go in and have lunch there. And it was really, really nice, a very special place. And I encourage the entire Las Vegas Valley to come into the downtown and visit the Gold Spike. Good plug for you. Beautiful 21 in blackjack dealers.
And sexy.
Yeah, they're very sexy. And just we had a great time. It's really a nice casino. And for that, I do support this item for approval, subject to all conditions.
Okay, that's item 6. Let's vote on that, please. Opposed? Motion carries. And item 7.
Move for approval, subject to all conditions.
Thank you. Let's vote.
Good luck to you.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Good luck, folks.
Thank you to all of you.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency. No subject may be acted upon by the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come up to the podium, give us your name, and we'll put a 3-minute timer on this if anybody wishes to speak. Would anyone like to speak during citizens' participation on the Redevelopment Agency? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 9. Number 9 is the agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and scheduled for action. Would anybody like to be heard at this time on a redevelopment agency matter? All right, seeing none, then the redevelopment agency is adjourned, and we'll start our council meeting in about 10 minutes. Yes.